Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Bournemouth versus Everton Tuesday night. Just going down to Bournemouth on a Tuesday night, and it's a 7:30 kickoff. What is that all about as well? 7:30 kickoff. They should be abolished. People are still in work at 7:30. Anyway, Bournemouth Tuesday night. Patrick, there are many reasons to not want to go to Bournemouth, but football is the main one for Everton, I would say.
Football is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
A terrible place for Everton to go, isn't it? I think I've seen it described as the place Everton teams go to die. I think Paddy Boylan wrote that last season, which I thought was a fantastic line. Fair play, Paddy. But it's very true. We've had some of our worst memories of being at that ground. Yeah. And it's the fact that it's 12,000 capacity. Yeah. That it's always been 12,000 capacity.
Yeah.
I should have put Bournemouth in room 101. They annoy me, the fact that they're so good. Do you know what I mean? They don't have not that we have a right to be, but the fact that they've managed to sustain themselves, it goes to show what you can do if you're a really well-run club. There's a different level of pressure. Tight ground, but we've only won once there since they first came into the Premier League, which was in the FA Cup, wasn't it? Under 2015-16 under Martinez. Our worst memories earlier that same season, we had the 3-3 where Everton went up, in injury time, and then managed to concede in injury time. And then we've also had the last minute defeat there a couple of seasons ago as well. So yeah. And
Seamus Coleman scoring their own goal.
And Frank Lampard and his team basically falling out with the fans as well.
It was the 3-0, wasn't it? The 3-0. There was two in a week.
We went a week, yeah.
It was two in a week, wasn't it? Just the send-off to the World Cup in Australia.
4-1 and 3-0, yeah.
2 in a week against the Bournemouth team I don't think had won for 10 games or something. So we always somehow seem to go down there and make an absolute mare of it. So, and that's what just strikes fear in you straight away, doesn't it? And Everton, see, this is the thing about being an Evertonian. Many people will go, yeah, but that's that season. But it always happens. It's like that is the thing about being an Evertonian.
It's now started happening at home against Bournemouth as well, hasn't it? Because we had the one at the start of last season when Everton played them off the park and then lost 3-2. We had the final cup game at Goodison there. Yeah. Which I was saying earlier about people getting off. That was my final game at Goodison, and I left with 5 minutes of injury time left because Michael Keane headed it over from 5 yards and challenged, and I went, I'm off. I didn't even say goodbye. That was my goodbye to Goodison, so it's
fitting.
So it's kind of started infesting the home performances against them. So we need to.
But that goes back to what you've just said there, though. I mean, they are a good side in terms of the way they play football. They never really seem to know when they're beaten in many ways. The manager's fantastic. He's a great coach. There is very little pressure down there. I mean, that is the thing. I mean, I've had many conversations with people, football purists, about how to build a modern team and how to build a modern squad. But the simple fact is, if you haven't got 50,000 people baying for blood, breathing down your neck at every game, who just don't believe in patience, believe in...
Yeah. I've had to show too much patience as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other side, But get saved up a certain kind of football and believe that if you're not showing the blueprint of what's happening, then what is the blueprint? Whereas Bournemouth, there's Listen, I don't know what the average Bournemouth fan is like. I don't know how much it affects them during the week. I don't know whether, because they're not a huge club, whether they don't have that mentality where people day in and day out are talking about it, and that's the only thing they talk about like we do. I'm not saying that at all. They just seem like a very nice club with a nice little ground, and now they've got a really good manager. And obviously this season, certainly the start of the season, in the summer, they lost a lot of players and yet seem to have replaced them without any kind of issue.
I think, and obviously they've tailed off a bit in recent weeks, and there's hope. Like, we're hardly going up against Brazil 70 here. Like,
we will get into that.
3 defeats in 4 games, which I know we'll touch on. They threw away a 2-goal lead against Sunderland on Saturday to lose 3-2. So they've definitely got weaknesses. I just think I've been really impressed with how well Iraola has handled it in terms of the losing Dean Hoyce. He lost his first choice centre backs.
Yeah. They used 3 of us back 4.
Yeah, and then another. But then like his first choice centre backs both went. I mean, they got big money for them.
Yeah.
But they didn't replace them with big money signings. They signed a guy from it might be in Lorient or no, not Lorient. Sorry, I know Lorient's the club that they have. But they signed another. They signed maybe it might be in Rennes. They signed a centre back from. He's just stepped in. They've got. I mean, and Antoine Semenyo's fantastic.
Do you think that obviously one of the big frustrations amongst maybe Evertonians is that we're told that you can't bring players in who aren't ready for the Premier League, and but clubs like Bournemouth they do it. They just bring players in, they just put them straight into the team, and they just basically sink or swim because they've done enough due diligence on them. But also they've got such a good manager, who's such a good coach, that he believes that week in and week out on the training ground he's going to improve them week in and week out. For me, that is a massive frustration because I hate being told you can't sign this player. And I also hate being told that it's going to take 12 games for this other player to get to where he is.
I think that's a bit like, obviously, maybe that touches on a managerial thing at Everton as well and a cultural thing. But also then I think in the fan base, like I agree with that. Like I think you can sign players who are ready. You don't need to spend 50 million on every player for them to be ready. It does require bravery from the manager. It does require the system to be in place. And then that goes back to what we spoke about before, which is the pressures that come with certain clubs. Yeah. And certain clubs are just well suited to it. But I think you can expand it out. You know, the bigger club you are in theory, then you should be able to go and get players who are just as ready-made. Yeah. Just as ready-made for your club. It's just you know, it's a different thing. But how Bournemouth are able to do it is they are able to do it with younger players, I think. But they've got some really good experience in that. They signed Ryan Christie from Celtic. He's been fantastic. Yeah. And the Lewis Cook that they brought in from Leeds took him a few years, but he's now suspended for tomorrow. But he's a really good central midfielder. Alex Scott from Bristol City, now got an England call up. So they just do it really well, and they don't faff around. They just put them into the team. But they all, they've spent some big money in the last few years as well. Like Evan Nielsen cost 40 million. They obviously gave Semenyo a new contract. I'm sure he will be leaving in the next 6 months, but
the next month?
No, possibly,
5 weeks.
Well, he's still got one more game against us then to get through. But they are a really well-run club. But again, it's just hard to judge because of, I suppose, the size of the stature of the club that they are.
But
we're so used to them overachieving now, aren't we?
But that just massively frustrates me. That like being told you can't be like that, and I said, well, hang on, why can't we should be able to get these players and stick them in the team and be brave enough without having, because when you just said it there, when you look at some of our players and you look at some of their players and you just think how have we missed out on somebody. It does help that they've got a second club, which feeds into it, which is one thing I just can't quite understand why. Well, I'm sure it'll happen, but I just can't quite understand why the Freakins haven't bought another club or pumped loads of money into Cannes to at least get them to a position, because it can be done. We saw Paris FC go through the gears, and I know Cannes are in the fourth tier of French football, but why not put loads of money into them and get them to a place where Roma and Everton can start using that club, especially when you're seeing players go into France. There's one of the Real Madrid players is going to go to Lyon next month. It can be massively frustrating. But as you mentioned there is a tendency to go, oh, Bournemouth, they're amazing. They're a point ahead of us. Yeah,
so of all the thing of like, why aren't we them and why can't we do that? They're a point ahead of us. They had a really good start. They pushed Liverpool all the way, didn't they? Yeah. And then Liverpool were in that streak where obviously they were getting those late goals at the start of the season. But Semenyo tore Liverpool apart that night. He had such a good start to the season. Has he got 6 goals and already fought five assists or something like that? And he's been injured, but he came back against Sunderland.
Great.
Yeah. He's everything I want in a winger. He can play everything. Both sides. He's quick. He's strong. He can shoot. He can pass.
He's everything sort of wrong with Everton's recruitment in the last 3 or 4 years, or 5 years, or 10 years even.
And he cost 10 million.
Yeah,
from the Championship.
He's the kind of player Moyes would have gone for first time round,
because he had to.
Because he had to.
But then, you can still do it because he was bought. Did they buy him from Bristol City? I think.
Bristol City.
and you can still do it, and that would have been when they came back up, I believe. So that would have been 2022, would it? Or 2021 maybe. Did they come back up? And they bought him, and they had him in. You know, they said they didn't go, oh, he's going to need time. He was just playing. He was dropping in and out, sure, but he was playing in a team that then had to stay up. Yeah. And Gary O'Neill did a great job with them, didn't he, that season as well, and get them away from danger in 22-23. Yeah. And they've just built from there. And Iraola, they gave him the time. You know, I remember the game that Everton beat them 3-0 at Goodison, and they were bad. Yeah. And that looked like it was going to be it. But again, maybe that plan and maybe that pressure just wasn't quite there. No, for them to get rid of everyone, they stuck with him, and now. But
the pressure was from the outside, wasn't it? Exactly. Remember when they got rid of
O'Neill, because he was an English manager.
Everyone was like, "What are you doing? They're losing their head." They went to Spain. He got this fella who'd done really well, brought him in to give him all those. Remember that game, because the first 2 goals we caught them passing out the back.
Yeah,
and you know, we were like, "Oh my God, there's no chance he's going to stay." And then the next minute, the penny drops for all those players, and suddenly they're playing, you know, the kind of football that we've seen them play since then, and. They're very well coached. They will have they're very streaky, aren't they? Yeah. They're a very streaky team. You could see them going on a very long run. Hopefully it doesn't start on Tuesday night, but you could see them going on a really good...
Well, they did. They went 9 games unbeaten, and then they lost to City. Yeah. You know, and
even when they played City, they played really well.
They played really well, yeah. You know, Tyler Adams has got over his injury issues. Really good player. Liked him when he was at Leeds. Did. The longest distance goal of the season, I think it was, or something like that. There's my stats coming out. Useless stat. Yeah. But don't let him shoot from range, or don't, you know, maybe Pickford just has a bit of a better game than he had the other night. But yeah, Tyler Adams, really good player. Alex Scott, really good player. And yes, Semenyo's your danger man.
Let's have a look at the Bournemouth team that faced Sunderland. Obviously, they were 2-0 up and were beaten 3-2 in the game. And obviously, there's going to have to be changes to that side, because obviously they picked up the suspensions in the game. In like literally in the last 5 minutes in this game. They had David Brooks picked up a yellow card. Obviously, they had a sending off as well.
Lewis Cook got
sent off, didn't he? Yeah, he got sent off for an elbow, and the other one was Marcus Senesi. You can pronounce his name better than
Marcus Senesi. But yeah,
see, once I get it wrong, you start getting it wrong. I know. So they got suspended, and they have no choice but to draft in an 18-year-old centre back for this game who's going to be amazing. He's going to be amazing, isn't he?
Look at Dean Howson. You know, like he comes in out of you. Yeah, they got him from Juve, but it was a pretty under the radar sign, and next thing you know, Real Madrid are spending 50 million on him. And yeah, well, probably happen again. But you know, Ryan Christie's out as well, so that's a big miss for them, because he's really good in midfield. He's really energetic, can play like basically, you know, he's just a midfielder. He's not a number 6, he's not a number 8, he's not a number 10. He can just kind of play everywhere. So there is an opportunity here. Like they're not in good form. No, and they can be got at. But then on the flip side, I think you're going into it thinking if we can come away with a point, you kind of get back on that thing. You're keeping that mid-table. You just keep clear of what's below you.
Just don't lose a couple of games in a row. Get a point. What was interesting on Saturday, actually, Alex Scott went off at half time. Zagged off. Players just been called into the English squad. So it does happen to. It does happen to. It's not just, don't just write players off because they have a bad game and taken off at half time. You know, he's a player who's just got into the English squad and he was zagged off at half time. He picked up a yellow card as well, so obviously the manager must have thought he's doing so poorly and he's on a yellow card and need to take him off. But we know they're a good side, and it's about going down there, I think. And listen, for us on Saturday, we were dreadful. We were properly dreadful. We let them run at us. Do you think there has to be a change of mentality maybe for this game? Because I just think this season, one of my overriding factors of this season, and I think it's a mad thing for Moyes, is we can't score goals, but we play so open. Whereas I think this might be a game with all the factors of Idrissa being out and you look at the bench and stuff, where we might just need to go, do you know what? We're playing a low block tonight. And the first thing we say is we're not conceding goals. We are making sure that we are tight, because otherwise, if we let these run at us and pass the ball and we're dead open, we're going to get beat.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's a big argument to say that's what we should have done on Saturday. But it's harder when you're at home. I get it. Our game plan went out the window after 55 seconds. But it almost being away from home against Bournemouth, I think helps, because I think they will start fast. But I look how we've started in our away games. Bar Leeds, we started really well against Wolves. We started well against Man United. Liverpool, we were dreadful in the first half.
We were dreadful.
But I think when we get after teams away from Sunderland, look at well we start. We played so well for that first half an hour against Sunderland. Barry misses that chance and the heads just drop. Sunderland started getting hold of the game, so we can do it and we can be measured with it.
Maybe it is just at home where we're just a little bit like the manager's just a bit like, well, we're at home, so we've got to go for it. Maybe we got through the first. I mean, we have been open away at times, but I think when we do it in a controlled way,
that's
what I'm saying. If we go there Tuesday and we're a little bit, we say, right, we're just going to get through the first 15 minutes and we're going to go from that and then build into the game, or even go at them for but it's in a controlled manner, then we'll be all right. But if we're open and we're letting them play too much of the ball, I think we just have to. We can't be allowed to, or certainly we can't allow them to pop the ball around and then start chasing shadows. We have to just, for me, we have to just sit in and soak it up and get through and gain confidence from that. But as we mentioned there, one player who is back is Semenyo. Let's have a look at his numbers. 12 games played, 6 goals, 4.59 XG, 3 assists, average rating is 7.39. And, down that left-hand side, he's going to give, obviously, Jake O'Brien a game. And I think for Jake O'Brien, it is simply don't
overcommit.
Don't overcommit, just stand them up. Give them couple of yards, because you ain't catching them. And don't be caught, and the whole back forward, don't be caught too high up the pitch.
No, they've got, and that, Keenan Tarkowski, I'm sure we'll talk about it without the word about Newcastle, but there's just the tendency for both of them to lunge in and dive up, and that's where our mistakes came from against Newcastle. And you can't afford to do it against teams with pace. I think Tavernier will be fit. He's a really good player. He's another player that I always looked at and thought, God, he's an Everton player. I can just see he's not. He's just developed into a really good attacking midfielder. They've got Kluivert, so plenty of pace. They've got a really good attack. Evan Nielsen's back, obviously. So. But, it's going to be a really tough game, but we just need to go there with a proper game plan, not throw it away after a minute like we have done. And then, what I haven't been, Man United aside, and why Man United was so impressive is that big thing went against us. And we didn't change how we were playing. We did in the second half, we were always going to. But in the first half, we just kept at it. And in other games this season, Saturday, even the Sunderland game, something went wrong. A bad miss or whatever, or a bad moment defensively, and we just let our heads go down. And we just need to stay in the game. Because again, we're not miles away from them. We're just a different type.
No, we go above them if we beat them.
Exactly.
And I think it's just that, especially I think this time of year as well, with obviously playing this game and then playing Forest at home on Saturday, which obviously won't be an easy game either. You've just got to keep chipping away, haven't you? So by the time you get to the end of December, you can look at the points tally and go, we're still nicely in that
pack,
that little pack, and we haven't been dragged into the teams below us, and we're just chipping away. And I think we'd all like to go in and get a win. Obviously, we're struggling, aren't we? I mean, let's just have a look at the team from Saturday, and obviously you only have to look at the bench. And obviously, I can't imagine Tim Iraboom's going to start this game. I can't imagine. I think Carlos Alcaraz will play, further forward like he was in the second half, and he's going to ask James Garner and Dewsbury Hall to just sit in front of that back four. Don't go missing. Don't go chasing around after the ball. Let Carlos Alcaraz do the attacking stuff off Barry, and go, because they have got maybe an experienced centre-back, go long more. Go long. Obviously, Saturday wasn't easy because obviously they put Dan Bain at centre-back, I think, just to snuff Barry out. But go long to him and let Carlos Alcaraz pick up the bits, get us up the pitch, because we're better going long than try and squeeze up the pitch when we've got absolutely no pace at the back.
No, it is, and like we touched on, they're not going to have one of the first choice defenders. Probably going to be playing a teenager there, and I said to Baz earlier on the live, I don't think he will, but I do wonder if Moyes might consider starting Beto in this one and Alcaraz and saying, right, we've got these 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
I want Barry up against Forest defenders on Saturday. I want just to freshen things up. It's not about Barry playing badly.
No.
But he played 87 minutes, Barry, the other night. He might just, look, he probably will just keep it the same and it'll just be one change because he like. But could this be a game for Beto? There might be that space in behind. Yeah. But then again, he's not. Because
this is the issue, isn't it? This is the problem. Like, these are the games where Saturday, Tuesday, this is the games where you want to freshen it up.
Yep.
But there's nobody to freshen it up.
And we haven't even got a fit right back to then play a different shape if we wanted to compact it all. Yeah,
we've got the same defence, with no pace in it. Okay, the midfield, it was only like 2-3 weeks ago you were like, you've fallen over options for midfield. Now there's
can never have too many midfield.
No, exactly. Now the wide men, obviously he took them off a little bit early on Saturday to give them a bit of a rest, and okay, there's a couple of options for play up front, but we want Barry to get that goal. So there ain't much there, is there? There ain't much coming off the bench. So we go there, we try and hold, let's not, as you said before, they're not unbelievable, but let's just not make sure we don't get done cheaply, and then have to go into that game on Saturday
needing something,
absolutely needing to win a game against the Sean Dyche team that is going to be horrible, with Chelsea and Arsenal to come before Christmas. So great opportunity, try and grab a point down there. If we can get more, we can get more, but don't get beat. I think that's the most important thing. Don't get beat.
Change the story, eh?
Yeah, that's it. And obviously we went there last year and we didn't even try. And that was the end of Sean Dyche, because we didn't even try.
That was the last game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his last game, yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's going to be a tough game, but we've shown it's time to roll up the sleeves, get Saturday out of the way, and change the story so that we go into the next home game with a little bit of positivity and maybe looking up and trying to catch those teams ahead of us. So there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Big thanks to Patrick for joining us. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. You want more great videos, join us over on Toffee TV Premier. Link is in the description. QR code's coming on the screen now. See you later.